Oh wow, Taliesin, this new Lordaeron scenario is so amazing. I feel like I'm actually there. It's so thrilling.
Yeah, it totally is. I'm on the edge of my seat. It's really exciting.
What?
I was just agreeing with you. This is really exciting. It's just so fast-paced and fun.
Taliesin, what's wrong with you? Why do you keep doing that?
Doing what?
That. Why do you keep stopping like that? Do you have a bad connection?
Oh, sorry, yeah, that's just the new global cooldown. It's on a few extra things at the moment. I haven't quite got used to it yet.
Okay, is this gonna be a problem? It's just that we've got a whole city to attack and I don't really need you holding us back, you know?
No, it's fine. Ian has assured me that it's going to be fine.
Okay, fine. You ready?
Yeah, let's take the city!
For the Alliance!
Alliance! What?
Go home.
Knowledge is power.
Welcome back, everyone, and wow, so much new and exciting stuff to talk about today, which didn't actually look like it was going to be the case right until the very last minute, because, well, let me give you a quick rundown of how our ideal week in YouTube goes. From Monday, we start working on an essay video about a subject we're really interested in that isn't really news, so speculation or explorations of certain topics that we find really interesting. This week, we finally finished our Alliance High Elves video, which took us 2 weeks to make, thanks for asking. We try and get that out on a Thursday at the latest and then start work on the new weekly reset on a Friday. That's the ideal schedule, and this week, amazingly, Friday rolled round and we were actually on schedule. The only problem was there was no news. Pretty much nothing had happened in game since the last weekly reset episode, certainly not enough to make hilarious sketches and jokes about, and we were kind of stuck. So we took a bit of a risk because we thought, you know, it would be just like Blizzard, wouldn't it, to drop a hefty alpha update just before they all left work for the weekend. That would be just like them, the cheeky alpha droppers. So we didn't start writing the new episode, and I want to make this quite clear, okay, because we definitely weren't being lazy, we were just taking a calculated risk, which is so different from being lazy, okay? I just want to make that clear. And lo and behold, just as we were about to go to bed here in the UK, feeling just a little bit anxious, I can't lie, what did Blizzard do but drop a hefty alpha update? So here we are with some extra specially super fresh cuts of news, and this is a big one, because quite apart from all the new model updates and zone updates and spell updates, which we will get to of course, the most immediate inclusion in this new build is the new playable Battle for Lordaeron scenario, which we're still assuming is going to be part of the Battle for Azeroth pre-patch along with the burning of Teldrassil, an assumption which is reinforced by the fact that this scenario feels a lot like the Broken Shore in the way it plays. And obviously we are going to be showing footage from this scenario here, but we won't be spoiling the ending because, well, the ending doesn't even exist yet, so we couldn't tell you even if we wanted to. Alpha. Now, the excitement around this scenario is pretty intense, and justifiably so. Not only does it allow us, as players, to take part in an epic battle for an iconic location alongside legendary lore characters in either faction, but it just so happens to be the exact same battle depicted in the best WoW expansion cinematic of all time. As if watching it happen wasn't cool enough, now we get to take part in it too. So the scenario is completely different for Horde and Alliance, as you'd imagine, which already makes it a bit more interesting than the Broken Shore. And we're going to start off our look with the Alliance scenario. You'll see why in a minute. Just like the Broken Shore, you're put into a group when you join the instance, although it's unclear to me whether there will be a group of Horde players doing their part of the scenario in the same instance with you, like in the Broken Shore. Let us know in the comments if you noticed that happening. When you enter the scenario, by the way, you're greeted by this little pop-up asking if you want to join the group chat, which is brilliant. Bravo, Blizz. This is exactly the kind of thing we need to increase sociability in game and could potentially make pugging dungeons and raids so much more efficient in Battle for Azeroth. If it works, obviously. And I can't actually tell you if it works because, oh, come on, I didn't actually click on it. What do you think I am? So pretty quickly, we join up with the forces in Lordaeron, get a very good pep talk from Genn, and there's not even time for a belly rub before you're thrust into the action on the front line, just like in the cinematic. There's the siege towers and Anduin in his ridiculous lion armor. It's just like the cinematic. And then all the troops start getting injured and Anduin does his Healy thing, just like in the cinematic. And basically at this point, I was having almost too much fun and I thought, oh, are we going to shout, "For the Alliance!" like in the cinematic? And we only bloody did. For the Alliance! For the Alliance! For the Alliance! Okay, yeah, we'll work on that. For the Alliance! We'll work on that. And then we take out an Azerite war machine, and Alleria is there, and then Jaina is there. Oh, and by the way, throughout all of this, the action keeps stopping, and all the NPCs just stand around for a bit while a cutscene, which isn't there yet, is playing. And it seems like there's a couple of proper in-game cinematics here too. For one glorious moment, I thought one was about to start playing properly, but it turned out to be the Demon Soul from Cataclysm, which made me feel a little bit weird, to be honest. But then we break through into Lordaeron, we fight Zappy Boy, and then we have a showdown with Saurfang himself, and I can only assume that he kills everyone because that's where it stops. But of course, that's only half the story, so then we queued for the Horde scenario. That starts off in the Undercity, which doesn't have quite the same immediate impact as the Alliance making landfall on the shores of Lordaeron, but it's still pretty cool, I guess. And anyway, pretty soon you are out into the battle proper, and then, well, this is Alpha, remember, and Alpha doesn't always work quite like it should, and at this point we were just getting hyped to kill some gnomes and shout, or, you know, probably, when the game actually bugged out and swapped our entire group, so we were now fighting for the Alliance. And it took me a while to realise this, but yes, all of the Horde NPCs I'd just been fighting alongside suddenly started attacking me, and obviously I couldn't hurt them because I'm a Horde character. Obviously I'm on their side, and I couldn't hurt the Alliance NPCs either because I'm technically taking part in the Alliance side of this scenario right now. So basically at this point I had the two different armies chasing me around the battle point, and cut a long story short, now I know how Garrosh felt, and to be honest, I'm beginning to feel a little bit more sympathy towards him than I did before. So yeah, we didn't get to finish the Horde scenario, but that's okay. We saw enough from each side to suggest that they are exactly what you want them to be. Exciting, frenetic, chaotic, and full of character. They are a lot like the Broken Shore, but the Broken Shore was epic, and if anything, the Battle for Lordaeron appears to be taking the storytelling up a notch. And I, for one, can't wait to see those cinematics, because you know, don't you? You just know they're going to be good. Oh, and in case you're wondering, and I know you are, Anduin appears to keep his ridiculous lion helmet on throughout, so there's no confirmation of what nose he's equipped for the battle. We'll keep you updated on that one. And with the Battle for Lordaeron now playable on the alpha, the first tentative testing on the new raid just happening on Friday night, and Warfront's up for testing on Tuesday the 17th, the new expansion really is beginning to take shape. It's starting to feel like an expansion. Welcome to Battle for Azeroth.
We're going to stay on the alpha for a moment and look at some of the new stuff that's been data mined, because there are new models and items flooding into the data right now, and okay, some of them are broadcast text, which can be exciting, but never looks exciting when we put it on screen. But some of it is the Hippo mount, which is possibly the best thing anyone has ever put up on screen in the history of YouTube. I'm just going to leave this here for a moment so we can all bask in the glory that is the Hippo mount. Because there are some great new mounts coming in Battle for Azeroth. There are dinosaurs, there are bees. In fact, I would say that the bees were my favorite new mount, but now my favorite new mount is not the bees, because now there's a hippo. This particular hippo, by the way, is a PvP reward, and frankly, if this isn't enough to get everyone hitting that toggle and queuing up for Battlegrounds, I honestly don't know what will. Well, fair and balanced classes and combat, and an instinctive prestige system perhaps, but come on, all that is second to the hippo. I like the hippo. In fact, the only way the hippo could really be better is if it were not just the single greatest mount ever created, but also the Kul Tiras druid bear form. Because yes, Wicker Bear is pretty great, but Hippo Bear? Come on, Blizz. You know you want to. There were new models for Kul Tiras druids found in this build though, namely their new cat forms, which are just as cool as you'd expect. We spend a lot of time on this channel repeating our love for the Kul Tiras and their whole folksy aesthetic, so we won't spend too long creaming over this. And anyway, in all honesty, it could benefit from being more hippo, so. And staying on Kul Tiran humans for a moment, Blizzard updated the Battle for Azeroth page on Battle.net this week to include this picture of the 4 new allied races that will be obtainable once the expansion launches. And what's interesting about this is that we know that the Zandalari Troll, Dark Iron Dwarf, and Magar Orc are all pictured wearing their heritage armor sets here. The Transmog, which acts as a reward for leveling a new allied race character from scratch without boosting, which would seem to suggest that this is our first look at Kul Tiras heritage armor. And this is exciting because it is the fabled long trenchcoat. If this is true, then we have our wearable trenchcoat models confirmed right here. So far we've only seen these on NPCs in the alpha, with no equipable version for players, but it certainly seems like those will be on the way now. And don't forget that because it's a heritage set, you can transmog it into any type of armor. This could be your plate set. This is so cool. But you know what's cooler than a human bear in a trench coat? A hippo in a trench coat. Make it happen, Blizz. You know you want to. By the way, this Heritage Armor trenchcoat story was genuinely going to be our main story this week before the new alpha build dropped. I think we can all agree that it was worth holding off a day. More visual updates in the build include an awesome new model for everyone's favorite Orc Ogre Rexar. There's also an update to the in-game world map depicting the islands of Kul Tiras and Zandalar, which will be important for lore nerds because the islands don't just slot into the convenient gaps in the ocean, the whole shape of the world has been altered with their implementation. The Maelstrom is no longer the central focal point of the whole map, with Azeroth taking a much more asymmetrical look than we're used to. And of course, this is the problem with a game that is 14 years old and is constantly evolving with new zones and landmasses. But I have to say that I always quite like it when a new zone changes up the map. It makes Azeroth feel like a real place because maps do change. Earth is the same shape now as it was when this map was drawn, but as our knowledge has increased, so has the way we picture the world around us. When Europeans connected with the Americas, it wasn't a retcon, it was another piece of the puzzle completed. And that's always how it feels to me when the Azeroth map gets altered. And just from a gameplay point of view, it's quite interesting that both of these maps are about the same size as the Broken Isles. So it looks like we might be right, they are really big.
And lastly, something that is seeing regular updates on the alpha, the new global cooldown implementation. Now, some of you may be surprised that we haven't talked about this already on the channel, but like the new personal loot rules, it's something that we want to get a really good look at before we jump to any conclusions about it. So quickly, for those who haven't been following this, the global cooldown is that time after you hit most abilities where you then can't use another ability until the global cooldown is over. It's basically there to stop you from being able to activate all of your abilities at once so that you can just have everything on a single macro or two. And it's vital for the way that the combat system in WoW works. Over the years, lots of abilities, mostly interrupts and cooldowns, have been taken off of the global cooldown so that they can be used at the same time as other abilities. So you never have to think about fitting Bloodlust or Spell Steal into your rotation, you just press them when they're needed. But in Battle for Azeroth, some of these abilities which have been off of the global cooldown for years are finding their way back onto it. And this new alpha build is adding even more to either a standard 1.5 second or 0.5 second global cooldown. Now, the reason Blizz is implementing this change is obvious and admirable. They want to get away from a style of play where stacking all your cooldowns and damage buffs together under one macro button press is the most effective way of playing. An ideal that I think most people can get behind, but many people feel that the best way to achieve this would be to come up with more cool and impactful abilities which aren't cooldowns or flat damage buffs, rather than keeping all the spells the same but making them more awkward and less fun to use. Because at its most basic level, that's what introducing abilities onto the global cooldown does. The general feedback from people on the alpha right now is pretty universally bad. PvPers don't like it, and PvEers don't like it, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that it's probably time for a trip to the forums right now, aren't you? And normally, I would agree with you, but we're not going to do that this episode, because the whole point of the alpha, after all, is that, no, actually we are going to do it. It was a shit show. Obviously. Why do Ian and these idiot devs still have jobs? This is what happens when non-gamers take control of a large company. The devs are doubling down on their idiocy. Honestly, doesn't surprise me though. They'll hate that. Yeah, let's do it. And all of the shit is flowing in the exact same we hate this change direction. And we were going to discuss this at great length today, but we're going to hold off flat out saying it's a bad idea. And with good reason. Blizzard have asked us to. And not us as in Taliesin and Evitel, the least influential influencers in the WoW YouTubing sphere. Us as in the player base. And this seems fair, because you know what? Ian is a lot of things, but he is certainly not a non-gamer, okay? He's asked for time to play with implementing this and has invited specific feedback on its iterations, which he is certainly getting. And that's fair enough, because at the moment, Soothing Mists is on the global cooldown. Soothing Mists, for goodness sake. But what isn't helpful right now is dismissing the whole idea out of principle when we've been specifically asked not to yet. Because I know how I personally feel about this right now, and as a channel, we will certainly keep on reporting it, but we're not going to try and give a definitive opinion on it yet. These changes in the latest alpha, like hours ago, show just how unfinished Blizzard's own implementation of the idea is. I haven't raided with it, I haven't PvP'd with it, I've quested and run dungeons and island expeditions and the Fall of Lordaeron. Sometimes I noticed it, and when I did notice it, it did not make the game more enjoyable, but mostly I didn't notice it. I am in the alpha to test things. I mean, really, obviously I'm in the alpha to take cool screenies of Jaina because she's so perfect and I love her so much, but I pretend that I'm in the alpha to test things, not to flat out dismiss them. There's 4 months till this this needs to go live or not, that's a lot of testing time. So why not test it some more? Give them a chance to get this change that they obviously care about right. And then dismiss it out of hand, obviously. I mean, come on, soothing mist, Blizzard, soothing mist! And generally, although there wasn't much news until about 5 minutes ago, when we had to just go, okay, let's write this script. Before that, it'd been quite a quiet week, and a week of celebration for you, because you had quite an event.
So I finally got my long forgotten hippogriff. I got it after about 2 days of searching.
And in fairness, you make out like it's this epic quest, but you decided 2 days ago that you wanted,
and
and you went out and got it.
I want this now.
For those who don't understand, the long forgotten hippogriff is the one in Azuna. It's one that appears like once every 12 hours or so.
Well, no one knows the timer. I think no one knows when they appear. It's just when you chance upon an ephemeral crystal.
Yeah, so there are 5 crystals that appear in random spawn spots all over the map, and whoever clicks all 5 of them first gets them out.
Yeah. I had a really close call yesterday when I clicked all 4 and I was standing in front of the 5th and I took a screenshot and someone flew in and took it.
You were taking a screenshot?
Thanks.
And you were so angry because you were taking a screenshot of so you could put it on Twitter being like, look, I got my 5th crystal, look at this, look how great I am. And as you were taking the screenshot,
someone literally flew in and then clicked it.
And you were just like, you wouldn't...
I was so mad.
In fairness, you wouldn't talk all evening. You were so annoyed. And I was like, hey, do you want to watch this thing? And you were like, whatever. Oh, that dick going and clicking the crystal while I was taking a selfie next to it before I clicked it. But you did get it literally the next time you tried.
Yeah, yes.
But that was not the only celebration this week, because also there's some birthday celebrations going on, namely our birthday celebration, because we're recording this on the 13th of April.
Indeed.
I believe on the 25th of April?
Yes.
Or 22nd. So basically, sometime before the next episode of the Weekly Reset, maybe even on the next episode of our Weekly Reset, will be the 2nd anniversary of our first video on this channel being published.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
That is cool.
2 years.
Wow.
2 years of Taliesin and Evitel.
Wow.
It's too long, isn't it, really? Maybe we'll call it quits after 2 years.
Yeah.
That's been a good run.
Yeah.
It's been fun. We've had a good time,
It's been
haven't we?
okay.
Quit while we're, if not ahead,
fine.
Slowly sinking.
Yeah.
And it's also the birthday of a fan of the channel.
Hey.
Matthew. Matthew is 23 years old.
Yeah.
And Matthew, your girlfriend emailed us and asked us to wish you a happy birthday. And that's basically all the information we got. So we thought, well, who's Matthew?
Yeah.
So we Googled Matthew. And these are all the results that came up on our first page of Google for Matthew with 1 T.
Happy birthday, Matthew.
Which is the foreign way. Probably one of these people. I'm going to guess that he's...
Is it that one?
This person.
Yeah.
He looks like the Matthew Wizard. He looks like the kind of Matthew that would really like this channel.
Well, if he's sitting around in his pants playing Warcraft, then yeah.
Matthew, even if this isn't you, I suggest this is how you go out tonight for your birthday, like that. No, because then his girlfriend did send us a picture of him and them together, and they're really cute.
Aww.
So, yay, happy birthday,
happy birthday,
you, Matthew. Congratulations.
Only you, none of those other Matthews.
And anyone else whose birthday is, we don't care. We don't care. We don't even care it's your birthday. It's all about Matthew today. It's Matthew's day. If you did like this video, don't thank us. Thank our patrons who give their actual real life money to help these and all our other videos happen. Guys, thank you so much. We've got a video update for you for our new sound system. Not like a hi-fi for playing music. Our new sound setup, our new microphone setup. We've got like a new microphone and everything all set up there for like a narration on videos and stuff. It's going to be sweet. And that is down to you guys. Just like everything. It's sick, bro.
It is.
It is.
I think that's what I said when you showed it to me. I was like, sick, bro.
Yeah, because I spent all morning setting it up when I really should have been doing something else. And you came in, you're like, sick, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, fam.
And then we like bumped chests.
Yeah, and then we like sat down and just thought about how cool we are for quite a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we went to bed.
And if you didn't like it, downvote the shit out of it. And remember, my name is Lordaeron.
My name is Taliesin.
And I'm Evitel.
And from both of us, until next time.
Bye.
Cheerio.